Hello, you're listening to Tony Slattery's Rambling Club, and you're most welcome.
Well, it's Friday, it's 5 to 5, and the doors to Tony Slattery's Rambling Club are open once again. Hello, everyone. My name is Paul Carmichael.
And I'm Alan Weir.
And you're welcome along to the Rambling Club. Still no sign of Tony, coming up for about, where are we now? Nearly September, 8.5 months. That must be now close to a proper record, mustn't it, Al?
I'd have thought so, yes. I'm a little bit worried about the strain it's taking on our plumbing. I was in a comedy club last night where the plumbing appeared to have been routed through the light fitting, so I was a bit afraid to touch anything in the gents, but I think the shed's starting to show similar signs of wear and tear.
What we really need, it's a shame that Tony's been mopping up using the yellow pages, because what we probably need is a plumber.
Well, there weren't yellow pages when he started.
No, a plumber's what we need, but, do you want to see who that is, Al?
Yeah, certainly. Hello, can I help you?
Hello, I'm from the plumbing company. They sent me around on a Sunday. I'm afraid it's double time, and you'll have to pay for that up front. So, show me your pipes.
Right, you are. Paul, could you show this gentleman the direction of the pipe fittings, and I'll rootle down the back of the sofa to see if we've got any loose change to pay for the double time.
And see if we can find something. That's going to cost us a fair bit, isn't it?
I take Green Shield stamps, and any coupons for Lidl, Aldi, Tesco, Sainsbury's. I'm not here to advertise, but you know what? You've got to make a living, pal.
You have to. You do.
Very true. Right, let's break out the nectar points while you attend to the honey wagon.
Oh, hang on a minute, Alan. I recognise somebody behind that plumber's disguise. Is this by any chance Mr. Brian Croucher, who we're talking to?
Yes, I used to be. Not sure who I am this morning, though.
Brian, thank you. Welcome to the Rambling Club. You're more than welcome to the shed. Do come in.
Yeah, I've got my rucksack and my cheese sandwich.
Oh, well, we're all set then, because, of course, what we normally do, myself and Alan, around this time on a Friday, is we give the bingo machine a bit of a whirl and see where it takes us to. So I thought
it was Sunday today.
It is, yeah. But yeah.
Have I been drinking again, or have you?
I could be a combination of the two. This doesn't bode well.
It doesn't matter. Every day's the same, really, isn't it? When you're retired, you stay in bed till dinner time, have your dinner and go back to bed, don't you?
Oh, sounds idyllic. I'll go with that. Well, I'll tell you what, while I ponder on how jealous I am, let's give the machine a whirl and see where we end up. Off we go.
Tony's enchanted bingo machine. A curious contraption of cogs, levers and glowing buttons that hums with ominous energy. This machine generates 3 completely random numbers. These numbers are fed directly into the Dewey Decimal System, the arcane reference system by which books and their contents are categorized. In this way, the bingo machine conjures from thin air a topic of conversation so enthralling, so wildly unexpected, that it leaves the members of the Rambling Club both bewildered and vaguely excited. Thus, another evening is saved from the brink of boredom, thanks to Tony's marvellous, possibly haunted and entirely inexplicable bingo machine.
Well, here we are in our first location in the great outdoors, ready to begin our first ramble with our guest president, Mr. Brian Croucher. And the numbers the machine has selected for our first ramble are
6, 4, 3.
643. 643. And that means if we tap the top of the machine, we can see that the subject is housing and household equipment. Housing and household equipment. Okay. Brian.
Yes?
Straight away,
Yes.
Housing. What can you remember of the house that you grew up in? I always find that fascinating, people's earliest memories of home.
I always remember the toilet was down in the cellar. So, and it was dark. So one was always pretty scared to go down there because you thought, I'll be got before I get to the toilet. And then when I get to the toilet, a big hand will come up and go, oh, gotcha.
What sort of house was it?
It was, no, I always thought it was a bit dodgy because the couple that lived down below, he was an undertaker.
Oh.
And I always remember when he died, he was Mr. and Mrs. Bishop. And when he died, my mother took me down to say goodbye to him because I wasn't going to go to the funeral. And I've never seen it before or since. He had a handkerchief tied round his head up there to keep his... Because when you die...
Oh, mouth falls open, yeah.
Yeah. And also, I used to... in Hackney, in the East End, well, anywhere, it had a coal hole. Like a round thing the coalman used to come and tip outside. And so I was always sent downstairs. Are you going to the toilet? Take the coal scuttle with you and bring us back some coal, in the days before central heating, etc., etc. Yeah. But it was a semi-detached house or a long line of houses in Hackney. In the East End, and a road called Kenmure Road off of Mayor Street.
Did it have that, that lovely sense? I mean, I can remember, I've got one of my earliest memories is the Silver Jubilee and really loving that. Did you have that sense of community with where you lived growing up?
Oh, yeah. You knew everybody in the street. You knew the Jewish, there were a few Jewish families. There was the Jewish, she was terribly adulterous. She was a machinist in the back, and she lived opposite us. And I used to play with her son Eric. And then there were two sisters and a brother, and they all lived together. I always thought that was a bit dodgy. And then my mum's, not to put a finer point on it, but any Muslims, Jews, Christians, you're all welcome to incest, aren't you?
This is true, yes.
I mean, there's no law against it. Well, there is a law, but behind closed doors and pull the curtain. I wondered why their curtains were always closed. But,
always blaring the Carpenters at full volume so nobody could hear what was going on.
But there's all sorts of things I remember. I remember there was a dog called Brumus, a bit up the road, and one day I was walking along, he came up behind me and he bit me in the arse. I tell you, I'm still very wary of dogs.
Really?
Yeah. But that was and I went to Hackney Downs Grammar School up the road after I'd been to the primary, and it was a school that Harold Pinter had been to 10 years before me.
Oh,
with a cousin of mine. And the same year was a very small Jewish actor called Henry Wolfe. If you
he worked with Benny Hill a lot.
I might have done. I don't know. I didn't watch Benny Hill very much. Being a feminist, you've got a sight. As it were, you have to get in bed with the feminists.
this is true.
Housing and household equipment, then. I'm trying to think. When it comes
household equipment.
Household equipment.
A vibrator.
There you go. But what do you like with modern equipment? Because I don't know, because I hate modern equipment, but I feel like I've got to get used to it. So I play, I've got one of those Alexas where you can just say, oh, Alexa, do this, that, or the other. But I've discovered that my favorite thing about it is you can change its accent. So you can just run through this sort of whole range of accents. So I've got to make it fun for myself, modernity. I'm no good with modern living, particularly, though.
Oh, I've always reckoned household equipment, two £20 notes. Cash always goes down well. I was thinking that they always break, don't they? And you need somebody to put it back together again, whether it's your TV,
Yep.
your vacuum cleaner, or your vibrator.
That's it. It's a hell of a service they're offering.
A hell of a servicing.
Yeah. The switch doesn't work because it's always on.
Jammed on full speed.
What about you two? When it comes to household equipment, I mean, are you Luddites like me, or do you embrace all the gadgets that we're meant to have now?
This is true. I always said that I've been married 3 times because I can't work the video recorder. And I can't. I still can't. I mean, the lovely Ashley that I'm with, she had to set this up for me. I was able to get the laptop out and open it up. Okay. But she got me where I am now.
Yeah, and every great man there's a woman who works video recorder and the laptop.
Oh, yeah. My wife can't work the Skybox. We've had the same Skybox for 20 years. She has not got a clue what anything on the remote does at all. But
I nearly had a very depressing day the other day.
go on.
Well, she'd gone to work up the hospital, and there was no, couldn't make the TV work or the phone or anything. There was, oh my God, I thought, a whole day of silence. So I had to get on, I managed to get on the phone, and he said, unplug it and plug it in again. Yeah, and then the router will pop up and be alive, and just like the rest of us.
Yeah. I remember. Right, I know for a fact when I was growing up, I can remember that the transmitter, the TV transmitter in our area, Winter Hill, broke down once, and it was such a big thing. It was on the bloody regional news, right, the next day, obviously. But these days, it's like trying to set these up. You're always terrified Zoom's just about to go at any second. I don't think there's any reliability with it, and I don't know. I wouldn't be turning off long wave radio yet. I'd be keeping that for a bit longer.
Over here, I'm staying with my friend Ashley. I'm in New Orleans at the moment.
Oh,
and
right.
They have so many electrical storms. Well, routers and lightning. A number of times lightning's struck the router, and I've had to get a new one from BT and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going to Florida when I was a kid. I was about 12 years old. And Florida has 2 seasons, basically. It's got hurricane season and rainy season.
Yeah.
And we went during the rainy season because we're not insane. And what amazed me about the rain in Florida is there would be a thunderstorm every day at more or less 3 o'clock. You could more or less set your watch by it. Suddenly the heavens would open, lightning would strike, and an hour later it'd clear up and everything would be glorious and fine again. But
I thought the anti-Louisiana terrorists had arrived because the thunder went, and it was like a bomb. A bomb had gone off. It was more than any thunder that I'd ever heard in England. And then your phone goes off, and it goes, careful, we're going to have extreme weather. They send it, yeah. And I thought, how do they got my English phone on their system?
Wow.
But, it tells you something.
It does. I mean, it's nice to know they can get in touch with you. I'd prefer it if they didn't have to, though. The government here are going to be trying that over the next 2 weeks, apparently. They're going to do that thing where everyone's mobiles go off, just as a test, just in case.
But do you know that horrible man who runs the US? He got rid of a lot of people who set these alarms off. And there is a true story in Kentucky. These people didn't know there was a tornado coming because there weren't anybody to press the right buttons to let them know. And about 9 people got killed and a load of houses got blown up in the air simply because he shut that department down. Getting too serious here. Let's talk about cats with 2 legs.
I was going to say I was going to be serious. He's got a track record of that because Barack Obama had funded a load of pandemic early warning stations in Asia and Africa, and Donald Trump shut them down about 2 years before COVID hit.
Serious?
Yeah. So,
Every day there's something over here.
oh God, yeah, the newsroom there was horrendous.
There's no more toilet paper in public loos. You know, he stopped that.
What?
No, you can make it up and it'll get through to him and he'll do it.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, don't have any ideas. What if the copies them?
Yeah.
Well, here we are, second location and a second set of numbers. And those numbers for our second ramble are
3, 9, 8.
398, 398. And that means the second subject is folklore.
Ooh.
Folklore. Oh. Well, that's as broad as it's long, isn't it, really? I mean, where does folklore begin and end? It's...
Hello, folks. I'm the Lord. You, and you, come out to the car.
I mean, folklore, what immediately springs to mind for either of you two?
Lying.
Lying.
Yeah.
Go on, why?
You know.
See, I mean, it definitely applies.
Well, you know, I met the Hunchback of Hackney Wick only once. Yeah. I was down there near the Matchbox factory, and I got there on a Sunday when the clocks had gone back. So I got there a bit early, and there was no one around, and I started panicking. I thought, what's going on? Is it the end of the world or what? And then this guy came by, and he was sort of hunched over, and I said, where is everybody? Where's all the other teams? He said, you didn't change the clock, did you? I said, go on, F off. And then I realised on his back, he said, I am the Hunchback of Hackney Wick. I don't know if that happened to me. I'd been drinking the night before.
Oh, that's a lovely bit of folklore. I like that. I mean, it's a bit scary, that one, but folklore-wise as well, though, because it goes round in circles, doesn't it? All these old stories that come back. Because straight away, if I see folklore, and I think we've got you here, Brian, straight away I'd just think, well, Blake 7 was a retelling of Robin Hood, basically, wasn't it? Which made you, I suppose, the Sheriff of Nottingham in that context, in a folklore way.
Sydney, oh no. Hello, Duck. It's Hello, Duck, isn't it?
Hello, Doc.
Sheriff of Nottingham. Hello, Duck. What's your name? Oh, Robin Hood. Nice, yeah. And what are you doing here? You're robbing the people in Sherwood Forest. Oh, I see. Well, I better arrest you, hadn't I? Huh? You know, I'm a bit... He told me to F off. I don't know anything about Blake 7, so you could tell me everything. I believe you've been to one or two confederations or conventions or...
Yeah, or one or two of them. Was that... Because obviously, to a lot of people, they think that's a huge job. But for you, was it just that was a job out of many with that one? Just one that we all remember?
Well, yeah, some people remember it. The people who believe in the future and fantasy and sci-fi and stuff like that. It's all folklore, isn't it? They make it up.
Yeah.
It hasn't even happened yet.
No.
I mean, some people... Would-be astronauts have been up, would-be Blake 7 characters, they went up with Jeff Bezos, didn't they?
They did, yeah. For a lot of money. Well, is that something you do?
Yeah, no, I did. I don't think I appeared in any rocket anywhere. I like rocket in my salad, but that's about as far as it goes. No. But... where does that come into folklore then, Paul?
Well, I think it's just that thing because of it. I think when Terry Nation was trying to pitch the series, he came up with the idea of the Dirty Dozen in space, but then he changed it to Robin Hood in space. So I think they were sort of taking a lot of that mythology, weren't they, and playing with it with that character, I suppose. Sort of. Or I could be stretching the point
to be honest with you.
It does happen with folklore, doesn't it? Because it's what happened with King Arthur. The same story was retold by different groups of people when it became convenient for them to use it. Because the original King Arthur was a Celtic myth, and he was defending the Celtic, the Anglo-Saxon invader. But then he gets, centuries later, he gets used again by the Anglo-Saxons, who, and I think he's defending against the Viking invader.
It's a bit. Can either of you define in one sentence folklore? I'll give you an idea.
Go on.
Send reinforcements. We're going to advance.
Then
three reinforcements. We're going to a dance.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, that's China.
No, but that's it.
Thing.
I mean, the visuals get changed, don't they? Oh, well, he came at me on a horse. Well, they didn't have any horses, you know. But,
so it's just, I see what you mean, yeah. I got you. So it's
using his whispers down the centuries, yeah.
Yeah.
And what's that? Is it, there's a Shakespeare thing, isn't there, where Toby Belch is telling the story, or Falstaff is telling the story of how he was sat on by some footpads. And as he's telling it, the number of them keeps increasing and they get bigger and better armed and until he's fighting off a whole battalion of Visigoths on his own.
Yeah, I mean, it's folklore. I mean, it does. There's something happened on the Royal Court stage. I try and cut the story short, but and there's also there was another man called David Halliwell who used to do viewpoint theatre. So something would happen. Tottenham would score a goal against Liverpool, and then people would say, "Oh, I saw that. So and so passed the ball." No, it wasn't. He headed the ball. I saw him head the ball, and it went in off of things shins. No, it didn't do that. It skidded along the ground. Somebody had put a bit of comedy on it and say, yeah, and the dog ran on the field and it bounced off the dog. So that's how it all changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, is it the film Rashomon, which it's the same story told 3 times, but it's 3 different people's recollections. So it's different. Yeah.
Oh, of course, another a real life one was the Royal Court. We did a play called Narrow Road to the Deep North, and Ken Cranham and a few other people. We were all playing. Monks, and we were taking this very, this pot, famous pot. It was cost hundreds and thousands of shekels, but it was a religious pot. And then my character gets everyone drunk. And so we're all chucking the pot around, and then Ken Cranham's character goes boom and puts it on his head. Can't get it off his head. So we say, what are we going to do? We have to go. Well, I'll tell you what we do. We'll go and see the Emperor, Shogo, played by Jack Shepherd. One of your mates up there. And so we go to see Shogo, and Shogo goes, so we say, oh, Shogo, please, can you help us? We have this pot on Kiro's head. We cannot. And he goes, well, all right, I don't know how to do that. He gets a wooden hammer and goes, bosh! And so the sacred pot, but it's pre-stuck. So it's broken and pre-stuck. And so when he taps it, it goes pump and falls on the floor. Well, this particular night, somebody had put too much glue on it, and he went boom, and it only half went, and so he went for a second go, and he went boom, and as it did that, it went, and the thing went straight into Ken Cranham's forehead. Now we all had because we were bald caps on, stuck down round the back like that, and of course, as it hit his forehead, claret.
Yeah.
And for years afterwards, people it happened to Ken. Jack did it. The late Jimmy Hazeldine.
Oh,
He was there playing one of the monks, and we were all in different areas on the stage. So we all had a different story, a different viewpoint. So it was, but there you go. It's folklore, isn't it? Then
it is, absolutely. So it's those different examples of story all being drawn together and creating something. Yeah.
yeah.
Brian, thinking about that then, do you prefer as an actor, what's your preferred medium? Is it to work in studio doing sort of like camera work, or is it theatre work, or maybe a combination? Because obviously you've done a fair bit of sitcom, which, I mean, for me, I'm always a bit baffled as an actor how you do sitcom, because are you playing to the cameras, or are you playing to the live audience? And how do you pitch that so it's right?
It's up to them to get the cameras in the right position. But when I'm talking to you, and I can't include the audience or help the cameraman. The cameraman and the director have to,
But do you have to sort of like pitch your performance differently? Because you've got a theatre audience in a way, but
so you've
got to pull it down a bit.
Well, if you call yourself an actor, you've got to be able to hit the back wall at the Old Vic or the National Theatre. You're taught how to do that. I mean, some of these people that are coming into the profession these days, they can't hit the back wall. Call yourself an actor. No, you've got to be able to do that. Or if you're on film, like when I worked with Tom Bell.
On Out. That was a fantastic. Brilliant.
When I was with Tom, we were doing a scene, and one of the first assistant came over and said to Tom, could you pitch it up a bit? And Tom said, tell the sound man to turn his machinery up. He wouldn't do it. It was exactly the same. He said, tell the sound man to work harder, or whatever he said. No, because it was a confidential little scene between friends. So you played like that.
Yeah.
How have you been? Oh, I've been all right. Nice to see you again. Anyway, let's go round and have a drink, Whereas on stage, lovely to see you again. Yeah. How you been?
Yeah.
You've got to get it there. So it's different. But, of course, radio, if we had a script now, the main thing is not to let the sound box know that you've got a script, because can we go again? We heard the pages turned.
Yes.
You know that one, yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. So, but you still do audio work, don't you? You're still doing the big finish things and that sort of thing. So
when asked, I'm available. I should say I'm really not available these days, and then people go, oh, he's a busy actor. Or if you say, yeah, I'm ready, always available, gets me out of the house, and they go, oh, well, there's no one in do. It's available. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I've never worked it out. Well, here we are, third location with our guest president, Mr. Brian Croucher, our third set of numbers, and the numbers are
6, 7, 1.
671, 671. And the final subject for us to ramble about is metalworking and primary metal products. Did you do metalwork at school? I did metalwork at school, but I was terrible at it. I always had these ideas that I couldn't go through with. And one day I decided to make a catapult. But in metalwork, God, I got bollocked for that, because apparently making weaponry was not in line with the ethos of the school or something. But I couldn't do anything else. I never understood the point of welding, so just that you get someone who knows how to do it. But what metalwork? Go on, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I remember, I kind of don't know where it is on my hand, but I've been fighting. it wasn't a punch because it had a very sharp. Why would it be sharp? I wonder. But anyway, I was filing it. It was in the vice. Put it in the vice, and then somebody went by and knocked me, and it went straight in my hand, somewhere in my hand. Oh. Yeah, that was metalwork. And Mr. Warburton, yeah, he said, "Oh, go on." And of course, if you were cheeky, oh no, that was the art master. That was the art master. He always used to wear a beret. No, and we used to do woodwork as well at Hackney Downs Grammar. Yeah, we used to swim in the nude because it was all boys.
Really?
Until somebody who couldn't swim shat himself. No swimming today, boys, or for the whole week. The pool's got to be drained and filled up again. Oh, and then it was did you shit in the pool? No, I think he did. Did you? Yeah. And then the bullies would come out. You shat in the pool. Now we've got to do bloody mathematics. Oh. Yeah. Got you to people shitting in the pool from metalwork.
That's a brilliant link. That's fantastic. I think the teachers, I don't know, my teachers, metalwork, woodwork, all those sort when I was at school, they were the old boys, and they weren't like normal teachers. You could tell that they'd been in World War II and they were coming to the end of their careers. And they never did the stuff the other staff did, like being on playground duty or even being in meetings. They had their rooms, and they'd obviously had these rooms for decades, and they'd made them perfect. It's like my domain. And that's where I loved that, those old boys.
Yeah, but I remember that when we used to go to football, every year had a different day. They'd take them to the sports field from Hackney up to Lower Edmonton, near Tottenham Hotspur, my team. Yeah, and each year you get a different teacher, not the football teacher, master rather, not teacher. Teachers were in primary school. The football master went, he didn't come, but different masters used to take us. And I always remember that the metalwork master and the carpentry master, they were not interested in football. You could see there was no interest in going to the sports field. But only my observances of life and characters. I must have been a would-be actor at that point, watching woodwork teachers. And
because obviously I did my reading up before, but there's not an awful lot about you online that I can. So what was the process that got you into acting? Because I think it was your first sort of like big job. You worked on Oliver, didn't you? Was that?
I got that job. Because I just came out of drama school, and you want to know what got me into acting?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Crime.
Really?
Yeah.
Go on.
Delinquent. No, I mean this is known. I did time HMP, and I just do prisons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a YP. Not a YP, not a nose YP.
No,
a young prisoner.
Right.
YP.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got 6 months for motoring offences, for not being insured and not being. You think you'd get away with it? You drive round as a 19-year-old,
Yeah.
And I know that I got caught, and I was sent away, and. They gave me 6 months, of which I did 4 on an open prison. I got lots of stories, but I won't. But what I was going to say is these days, because there are so many terrorists and so many drug dealers, there's no room to send people away at the age of 19 for driving offences,
No.
So times have changed, thank God.
Yeah. So was that, I mean, did you start working, was drama something that came about while you were inside then, or was that after that?
No, the same guy who got me into drama school, pre the the part in Oliver. A friend of mine, I came out of prison, open prison, and I realised I didn't want to be a recidivist. Now, some people don't know what a recidivist is. It's somebody who returns to prison their whole life. I didn't want to be that, and I experienced. And you experience, it's common parlance, you experience your freedom being taken away. And I love freedom. I mean, every actor must have freedom so it manifests itself in my later life. But I didn't want to do so. A friend of mine, his girlfriend was going to drama classes, and I've always been partial to a young lady. I just like them. I find them very interesting. Yes. They tell you different. They don't drink as much. Not like blokes. They drink 6 pints of lager and tell you the same story 3 times over. But you go to evening classes and then you meet different people there. Drama classes in the East End. Met some nice women. Met some nice blokes, and I got introduced to the theatre via an idea working backstage, and then I was told that you can go on a stage management course, which I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to go work at the BBC. And then when I was there, I went to classes with people like Brian Cox, Martin Shaw. They were in the incoming year that I was in as stage manager. And then I thought, go to those classes. Thought I can do this.
Yeah.
Wow. Then I one of the one of the directors, he took me under his wing and helped me with my audition. I had no knowledge of being an actor. I fell into it by default.
Yeah.
I still do. I've got to blame it on somebody. It's default yours.
That's fascinating because, there's all these different ways, but it strikes me, I mean, we've talked to so many people about how community drama, especially, back in the 60s and things, you think about theatre was like a movement then, wasn't it? And there was a real sense of community theatre, and you think of the people who became famous working in community, Harry H. Corbett working with Joan Littlewood, and it's just such a shame that that's just not there now. And I don't know if that's funding again, but it seems to have vanished. I think that's really quite a sad thing.
Well, receiving theatre was now. Theatres are receiving houses. Back then, they were rep, 3 weekly rep. There was weekly rep before 3 weeks where you'd rehearse a play, put it on, and when the daytime you'd be rehearsing the next play. I did that once with Maureen Lipman at a drama school in London, Lambda, and we did it. We put a play on in a week. It was an Earl Coward play called This Happy Breed. It had 3 acts, and every act had three scenes, and that was difficult enough. If we were playing in the evening, when do you go back and reassess your character, your lines, and I mean, incredible. And then, of course, I did it a lot on the Fringe in London. There were so many Fringe theatres opened, and they were always putting on new plays, and it was exciting.
Yeah.
Really, really exciting.
But that sort of rapidity of learning and getting the lines down and stuff, I mean, that must have been really useful when you did EastEnders, because the turnaround on that must be phenomenal.
I tell you a story about that. A friend of mine is no longer with us, an actor. He played a character in EastEnders, Wendy Richards' brother. He was called Kiwi Kenny. So it was all of 25 years ago. So he left just before I joined EastEnders, and I phoned him up. I said, "So what's it like, Mike? Give us the SP before I get down there." He said, "Almost knowing your lines, because the turnaround was so quick." And if you had a storyline that was heavy for you, and it all happened. Well, it happened to me. I was stuck in my armchair drinking cans of lager because I was very depressed. And then my son or my daughter would come in, or I'd get on the phone, but I had something like 12 scenes to do in a day. Oh. So you sort of reacquaint yourself. You familiarise yourself with the scene, know it as much as you can with the time that you're given when you're given the scripts, which are sort of sometimes 2 weeks. But you're learning all sorts of stuff. Then you're there. So you do the scene, and then you put it away, and you do that one. Don't think of the next one. And so, sometimes because they don't want to move the location, they do that all. It's your day, and
So you're just in that living room shooting for that full day. Whoa, that's amazing. They're long days as well, aren't they? It's not 9 to 5 either. It's like, whoa.
Oh yeah. This.
I'm just gonna say, Brian, you need to write a book. Your life is fascinating. Seriously.
Well, I have written a screenplay of the 60s. Oh, that's because the 60s, you would have loved it. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Yeah.
It was.
So I know.
I mean, you think women had the pill. Everybody smoked marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember listening to Bill Haley in the comments. Rock, 4 o'clock, rock, 5, 6,
Yeah.
But I wasn't a rocker. I became a mod. Then you had all that music, the Beatles, Stones. And so from being a delinquent, coming out of prison, going to drama school, coming out and getting... So it was called from the magistrates' court to the royal court.
Oh.
And it's all the way through the 60s. It ends up, because I did a play called Saved at the royal court. So from being nicked in the car, you see my character. Well, not, somebody also said, you're a bit of writer, do a bit of writing. Never say it's a true story. Because if I'd said, well, I was at drama school with Brian Cox and he was a scruffy old bastard, you could get litigation for that, couldn't you? Oh, or so. They thought they were the bee's knees, but they were a terrible actor,
That's why Graham Chapman called his autobiography The Liar's Autobiography, isn't it? Doing for anything.
I just asked. Saved. Is that the Edward Bond play?
Yeah.
Was that the original performance then?
There was a Sunday night performance with people like John Castle, Tony Selby, Dennis Waterman.
Yeah.
Because, see, going back, there was the Lord Chamberlain. Now, the Lord Chamberlain went in about 87, 88. And so anything film, theatre, any scripts had to go to the Lord Chamberlain. And if it had a bloody or anything worse than that, the C word, the F word, they were deleted. So, and I always say that, look back in anger, Jimmy Porter, he worked in the markets and he found this middle-class woman, posh woman called, it wasn't Alison, was it Alison? Anyway, he would have said, why don't you shut your face and get on with the ironing?
Yeah.
Fuck off, go on. But there's nothing like that in John Osborne's Look Back in Anger.
No.
Because that was before the Lord Chamberlain. And
so it
then
would have been censored. Yeah.
Yeah. They got rid of the Lord Chamberlain and we had Hair, We Stone Babies. The heavens open. We could do anything.
Yeah.
Because
that's good. Do you know what? I've spent 20 years lecturing acting students on historical context to performance, and Saved is one of the plays that I've talked to them about so much. And there's a bit of black and white footage of it, and it's just like, Christ, this is harsh. It's brilliant theatre. That's amazing.
I got stories about that. We used to throw coke at the pram, and one night. And it wasn't a pushchair, it was a pram, one of those big upright prams.
Yeah.
The baby was in there, and I went boom, and the piece of coal or coke hit that, and there was I swear that she was pregnant in the front row, and it went bing and hit her right. It's another forehead story, and I sort of stopped, and I went, "You all right, huh?" She went, "Yeah, carry on." Picked up and him. Oh, I'll tell you another quick one.
Go on. Oh, yeah, go on.
Another quick one. Bill Gaskell. He was a funny man, not funny, but odd, but excellent director. I'd work with him any time. He got everybody in the stalls at the end and gives notes, previews and that. And one night he said, "All you people sitting in the front, you thought you were good tonight, weren't you? You were crap. And you two at the back, you were brilliant." But then he said, "But I have to go on to say this." I won't name him, but a certain actor, I'll call him John. John, are the words, did Edward write the words exterminate? No. He said, "Well, when you were pushing the pram round the stage, you went exterminate. I said, "Edward has written, it's like a concerto." He said, "You put words in or take words out, it's like a bum note."
Yeah.
And he said to Tom, "Don't do it tomorrow, Tom." Or Jack.
Well, here we are back in the shed. Our rambles for today are done. And Brian Croucher, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for rambling with us. I mean, who would have thought we'd have taken in folklore, housing? It's been a hell of a ramble. Have you enjoyed your ramble with us?
I have indeed, yes. I got out of puff a couple of times, but I did catch up.
Yes, I think you've done extremely well. So thank you very much, and thank you to everyone at home for listening, and we really hope that you enjoyed this week's meeting of the Rambling Club.
Now, the Rambling Club meets every Friday, but if you'd like to get in touch in the meantime, here's how you can find your fellow members.
The show's official website is at www.tonyslattery.com, and you can get in touch on the contact form on that website.
We're also on Elon Musk's least favourite website, at Slattery Live. Please feel free to use the hashtag TSLC to discuss any of this week's topics.
I'm on Twitter, just about to, at Paul Carmichael V, but you can find me on Blue Sky, and you can find at Slattery Official on Blue Sky as well.
Oh yeah, Tony also has a good old-fashioned Facebook group, www.facebook.com/the_Tony_Slattery.
And he's on Instagram at Tony_Slattery_official.
And also, I believe that's where you can find our guest president, Brian Croucher, who has Instagram, which is...
Oh, I'm on Instagram under croucher.brian.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
And if people want to join the Rambling Club for themselves, Paul, how do they do that?
Well, all they've got to do, Alan, is head over to www.patreon.com/Slattery Live, and we'd be delighted to welcome you because the club is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you can find all sorts of perks for members there. You can get your ID badge, you can get your membership badges, you can get all sorts of things there. Have a look at www.patreon.com/Slattery Live.
So please do get in touch by any of those methods. We'd be thrilled to hear from you. And if you've enjoyed us talking about folklore, why not go to where you get your podcasts and leave us 5 stars? We'd think you were a legend.
Oh, lovely. And we will be back next Friday at 5 to 5 with another ramble. But until then, it's a goodbye from myself, Paul Carmichael. It's a goodbye from my colleague, Mr. Alan Lear.
Goodbye.
And it's a goodbye from our very special guest president, Mr. Brian Croucher.
Goodbye, and I am available.
You have been listening to Tony Slattery's Rambling Club with our special guest president, Brian Croucher. He was accompanied by Stephen Fry as the voice of the bingo machine. Acting President Krauser was assisted by Paul Carmichael and Alan Löhr. The music was composed and performed by Mike Livesley and Andy Fritzel. Silly voice are by Mike Livesley and the show's concept it's by Paul Carmichael. Our producers are Stuart Morris and Alan Dybing and the show's researcher it's Sola Carmichael. The show's producers are Erika Löhr and Mark Hutchinson. Our executive producer it's Chris Castle and the series executive producer it's Mark Strickson. Tony Slattery as Rambling Club it's a Fanfanitel production.
Goodbye and thank you for listening.